S1. So if you would recall, the very first session on duality that we had, I gave you a simple two-variable LP model, which I called the primal model. And this was the model, no? On the right side of your screen, except that I converted this to standard form already because I want to solve this LP model using simplex. Okay, so if it's not in standard form, then it would be maximized profit equals 30x1 plus 25x2. And then if you would recall, if I take away these slack variables, all of these constraints would be less than or equal to. Okay, if you would recall, the first constraint was about labor hours, no, labor time per week. The second constraint is about machine availability. And the third, machine time, no? And the third constraint is about the number of units of product A that you can sell. So if you recall, this was the simple LP model that I gave, and then I actually asked you to formulate this. I told you that this is the simplest of models or problems, and that everyone should be able to formulate this. So anyway, formulating this model using x1 and x2, this is the model. And if I want to solve this LP model, which I call the primal, I can do it using simplex because all of the constraints are less than or equal to anyway. So I just add slack variables to get the standard form, and then I transpose the objective to the left side. So I think this much you should already know, no, by now. If not, then you have a big problem. Okay. Now, first step for solving, okay, again, solving is getting the standard form. Okay? Yung symmetric form is different. Okay? To get the dual of a given primal, for example, itong primal na to, gusto kong kunin yung dual nito, I need to make sure that this primal is in symmetric form. So if it is not in symmetric form, then I need to convert it to symmetric form before I can use the relationships in getting the dual. So again, symmetric form is needed to get the dual of a primal, whereas the standard form is always needed as a first step in solving an LP model regardless of the method. Okay? Kahit na anong method yan, big M, two-phase, dual simplex, kailangan mo yung standard form to solve it. Okay? So, second step is to get, as I said, no, the methodology I taught you before was to always get a feasible solution. So therefore, we started with an initial basic feasible solution. Okay, and to do that, we count the number of variables. In this example, you have 5, and then count the number of constraints, you have 3. So we say that the difference, which is 5 minus 3, there are 2 variables that should be 0 or non-basic. So again, since all the constraints are less than or equal to, the origin is the most convenient. And that's why x1 is 0, x2 is 0, that's your non-basic. And then the rest of the variables s1, s2, s3 are readily solvable. Okay, so these are the values of your basic variables, right? Okay, so that's step 1 and step 2. Step 3 is to simply transfer the coefficients of your variables into the simplex tableau. So here we have step 3, iteration 1. Okay, so if I transfer the coefficients, okay, you will see that in your objective you have negative 30 and negative 25, so that's what you have here. Okay, and then 0 on the right side. And then for the constraints, you have 2, 1, and 2, 1, and 1. Okay, you have 2, 1, and 1. And then for the second row, you have 1, 3, and 0. 1, 3, 0, and then 1 for S2. And then 45 on your right side. And for the third row, you have 1, everything 0, and then 1, and then you have 12 here. Okay, so this, again, I expect you to know this, no? And as I've always done, I've always labeled my basic and non-basic variables. So my basic for the first, for my starting solution or my first iteration are S1 to S3, which I will see on the left side of my table. And here, I will just label, no? These 3 are my basic and these 2 are my non-basic variables. Again, the objective is to maximize Z. Okay, you will see that it's feasible. All the values are positive. Okay, and then here, it's not yet optimal, no? kasi may negative coefficient pa. Therefore, we will look for the most negative as our entering variable, which is x1, and then we'll get the ratio, di ba? The ratio between this column and this column, this pivot column elements. Okay, so feel free to interrupt me if there's something you don't understand. But for this one that I'm talking about, it's just your quiz 2. Okay, simple stuff, no? So procedure lang. So again, get the ratio: 40 by 2, 45 by 1, and 12 by 1. So you got 20, 45, and 12. The minimum ratio is 12. S3 is therefore your leading variable. Okay, proceed to the second iteration. The pivot element should be 1. It's already 1. So just copy the last row. Okay, copy this last row since it's already 1. Copy this whole row into the second iteration. Okay, and then make all of this 0. Okay, using Gauss-Jordan elimination. Okay, so this is exactly what we did. We made it 0. And in the process, the coefficients of the other variables change. Okay, so ito na yung magiging table natin. So you will see that we move from 0, okay, in the first iteration to 360. Okay, in the second iteration. Nag-improve na since we're maximizing. Nag-improve na. And in the first iteration, you will see that entering variable is x1, leaving variable is s3. And in the second iteration, okay, punta muna tayo sa left side ng screen nyo, no? This is found in slide number 28 of your PowerPoint, duality theory. Okay, this slide actually summarizes, makita nyo heading, no? Complete simplex solution to original problem. Yung original problem natin is yung two products A and B. Yung finormulate natin na model sa taas, no? What I just mentioned. So this is a summary, no, of the 3 iterations. The first iteration is said to be suboptimal. Okay, suboptimal meaning it's feasible, pero it's not yet optimal. Okay, tandaan na, suboptimal means it's feasible, but it's not yet optimal. So in the first iteration, you will see here that x1 and x2, since they're not here, they're both 0. Okay, and then s1, s2, s3, the values of s1, s2, s3 are 40, 45, and 12, and your z value is 0. So itong slide 28 na to summarizes only the solution column of every iteration. So for iteration 1, ito yung summary. Ito yung value ng basic variables. And of course, the non-basic would be 0. Okay? And then you will see here, entering variable is x1, which is this one. Okay? And then leaving variable is s3, which is this one. So summary lang itong slide na to kasi baka malito kayo eh. Ano tong table na to? This is not a simplex iteration. This is just the summary of all the iterations leading to the optimal solution. Okay, so that's iteration 1. So let's look at iteration 2. Again, it's still suboptimal kasi makikita natin feasible, feasible pero hindi pa optimal dito sa objective function row. Sa iteration 2, ganun din. Feasible siya, walang negative, pero dito, meron pang hindi optimal. Okay? So, you will see here that in iteration 2, since isa na lang naman yung negative, this is our entering variable. And as you can see, entering variable for iteration 2 is x2. Okay? And then our leading variable is to get the ratio between this pivot, between this solution column and this pivot column element. So 16 by 1 is 16, 33 by 3 is 11, 12 by 0 is not qualified. Okay? So therefore, you choose between 16 and 11, and the smallest ratio is S2. This is your leading variable. Kaya sa left side ng screen nyo, S2 is the leading. So again, this row provides the summary. X1 is 12, so you will see X1 is 12 here. S1 is 16 and S2 is 33. So S1 is 16, S2 is 33. Okay, and then of course the variables that you won't see here, which are X2 and S3. Okay, X2 and S3 are both 0. They're non-basic. Okay, I hope that's clear. And then once you have the entering and the leaving, you iterate again. You have to convert this to 1. Therefore, divide this row by 3. So, mangyayari, if you divide by 3, this becomes 0. Itong row na to, 0. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Okay, this is still 0. 1 divided by 3 is 1/3. Negative 1 by 3 is negative 1/3. 33 by 3 is 11. So once you have this row here, okay, once you have this row, you now convert all the elements above and below this pivot element to 0. So dapat ito, maging 0 to, maging 0 yan. And you, again, you do that by Gauss-Jordan elimination. Okay, so by doing Gauss-Jordan, you will come up with this table. And you will see that in this table, the solution column is feasible, walang negative, okay, positive lahat. Okay? And then here, it's already optimal. Okay? Wala nang negative coefficient. So therefore, we conclude that iteration 3 for this problem is already the optimal tableau. And if you look at the left side, in the optimal tableau, okay, optimal na to, x1 is 12, x2 is 11, okay, here is 11, 12 and 11, and then S1 is 5. Here, S1 is 5. And then Z is equal to 635. And whatever is not here, okay, which is S2 and S3, they're both equal to 0. Okay, so again, this last row is a summary of iteration 3. So each row is a summary of an iteration. Okay, and once we get to the last row, you will see that it's feasible and optimal. So ganito, for us to have an optimal tableau, the combination should be in the solution column, it's feasible. In the objective function row, it has to be optimal. So optimal here and feasible here would give you an optimal tableau. However, feasible here, pero not yet optimal here, okay, will give you what we call a suboptimal tableau. Okay, please remember that. Feasible in the solution column, but not yet optimal here will give you a suboptimal tableau. Just like here, again, it's feasible here, but not yet optimal here. So therefore, this is a suboptimal tableau. So there are two more scenarios. Okay, there are two more scenarios. You can have infeasibility here, meaning there's negative, at least one variable is negative. So infeasible, pero optimal dito. Okay? So that combination of infeasible and optimal in the zero will give you what we call a super optimal tableau. And that is what the dual simplex method works on. Okay? So again, feasible here, optimal here, infeasible here, not feasible here, but optimal here in this row. That combination will give you a super optimal tableau. Okay? Now, the last classification is it is infeasible here, not feasible, meaning may negative. Tapos dito, may entering variable ka pa, not yet optimal. So pag pinagsama ko yung infeasible at saka not yet optimal, then that means that your simplex iteration is neither feasible nor optimal. Okay? Neither feasible nor optimal. Hindi siya feasible, hindi rin siya optimal. In which case, listen, you cannot use the dual simplex procedure. Okay? Kapag ka not feasible dito, pero not optimal din dito, hindi pwede ang dual simplex procedure natin. Pwede lang ang dual simplex procedure kapag ka not feasible to and optimal dito. Okay? So, kaya ang lesson natin for today is to review about dual simplex method, yung assignment ko sa inyo, and also to handle the case wherein what happens kapag ka not feasible to and not optimal to. Kasi kapag optimal na to, so dual simplex pwede natin gamitin as a procedure to iterate. Pero kapag not feasible and not optimal to, we have another method, no? Augmented dual simplex. Dual simplex pa rin siya, pero kailangan nating dagdagan ng constraint. Okay? Dagdagan ng elements dito sa iteration. So may adjustment tayong gagawin, may i-augment tayo doon sa tableau natin para maging super optimal. So madadagdagan ng isang iteration. Okay? So the purpose of the augmented dual simplex method is to be able to add a constraint, a redundant constraint to the original problem in order to transform the tableau from neither optimal and feasible to a super optimal tableau para magamit natin yung dual simplex procedure. So I'll discuss that later. Okay? So sa ngayon it's good to know na we were able to solve this primal model the same way that we solved our LP models in quiz 2. Okay? We had the model, we got the standard form, we got the initial basic feasible solution. We iterated following the rules of simplex. After three iterations, we got the optimal tableau. Right? And that is what you see on the left side of your screen, the summary. Now, I want to proceed and I want you to recall duality theorem number 3. Okay? Wherein we said that each variable in the primal, we have 5 variables, x1, x2, s1, s2, s3. So, i-label natin to. S1, x1, x2, these are basic. And these two are non-basic. Okay. So, every variable in the primal, no, 5 yan. Okay, there are 5. Would correspond to a variable in the dual. So, kung may 5 variables ka in standard form sa primal, meron ka rin 5 variables in standard form sa dual. And there is a theorem 3 defines the relationship between the primal variables and the corresponding dual variables. Okay? So, basically, pagka decision variable ng primal, ang partner niya sa dual would be the slack or the surplus. Pag slack or surplus sa primal, ang partner niya would be the decision variable in the dual. Okay? So, yun lang naman yon. Now, theorem 3 gives us the complementary slackness theorem. Meaning, kapag yung primal variable mo basic, yung corresponding dual variable mo sa dual model should be non-basic in any iteration. So, that means that every primal iteration, iteration 1, okay, iteration 2, and iteration 3 corresponds to 3 iterations of the dual model. Okay? Ibig sabihin lang yan, may 1:1 correspondence yung mga iterations. So, therefore, if I formulate the dual model of this, okay, of this model, pag finormulate ko yung dual, ito yon. Alam na natin i-formulate, di ba? First, this is already in symmetric form kasi maximization to, and then papansin niyo yung original model na binigay ko sa inyo, lahat yan less than equal to. So, since naka-symmetric form na yan, pwedeng diretsong dual na ako. So, when I formulate the dual class, ito yung lalabas. Minimize YO, in standard form ko na rin. No? Minimize YO equal to, kung mapapansin niyo sa primal, okay, yung right-hand side is 40, 45, and 12. Ito, mapupunta yan sa objective function coefficient ng dual. Kaya magiging 40 times Y1 plus 45 times Y2 plus 12 times Y3. That will be the objective function of the dual. And then for the constraint of the dual, the column of the constraint coefficients of the primal will be the row of the constraint coefficients of the dual. Diba? Transpose lang, if you remember. So, the coefficient here is 211. Tandaan nyo 211 tapos 130. So, pagpunta natin dito, you will see that the first row is 211. 2y1 plus 1y2 plus 1y3. And then the second constraint will be 1y1 plus 3y2 plus 0y3. Okay, so 211 and 130 from column naging row. So now you have your dual model, and the dual model initially would be greater than or equal to. Wala pa to. Okay, wala pa yan. Wala pa yan. And then initially, ito yon. Okay, this is the original, no? Wala pa to. That's the original dual model. As you can see, the dual is also Symmetric. Minimization greater than lahat ng constraints. So since you have a symmetric primal, your dual will be a symmetric dual as well. Okay? So now, given this dual, if I want to solve this, all I know is that the primal has 3 iterations. So therefore, alam ko na rin ngayon that since mirror image yung dual ng primal, dapat pag sinolve ko yung dual, tatlo rin yung iterations ko. Okay? Iteration 1 of the primal will be mirrored by iteration 1 of the dual. Iteration 2 of the primal will be mirrored by iteration 2 of the dual. And finally, iteration 3, which is the optimal iteration of the primal, will also be mirrored by iteration 3 of the dual, which is also the optimal solution. Okay? So, mirroring lang ito. So, now, since I know that there are 3 iterations, I have options. Okay? I have options to solve this. Now, if you look at this LP model, it's a minimization problem with greater than constraints. So, if hindi nyo pa alam yung dual simplex, pwede nyo itong gamitan ng Big M, artificial variable technique, no? Big M or two-phase. Kasi may greater than. You can solve this. And ito yung sinabi ko na in preparation for quiz 2, you can use this as a practice problem. You can use Big M or two-phase. Or even devise simplex in matrix form, no? Two-phase. Pwede nyo isolve yan. Pero ang focus na discussion ko ngayon would be dual simplex method. Okay? Which is exactly the problem that I asked you to solve before solving the problem set. Ito yung nasa slide 37. So, if you solve this using any method, Big M two-phase, devise simplex two-phase, or dual simplex, your first step is always to get the standard form. Of course, for dual simplex, the first step before the standard form is to convert all of the constraints first to less than equal to. Okay? Pag na-convert na to less than equal to, tsaka kayo magdadagdag ng slack variable sa lahat ng less than equal to constraints. But for now, I will convert this to standard form, which means that I will transfer this all to the left side. Magiging minus na to, minus, then equal to 0. And then for the constraint, in standard form, since greater than yan, if I were to solve it like before, I will subtract a surplus variable, which I will define as T1, and a surplus variable in the second constraint, dahil greater than constraint din yan, which is T2, and then I will equate. Diba? I will convert it to an equation. So that's the standard form of your dual model. Okay? So now, what's important is that you know that there are 3 equivalent iterations for the dual. So you can either solve it from scratch. So in which case, after the standard form, you'll get the initial basic feasible solution. Okay? Or if you don't want to solve it from scratch, you can now use, okay, you can now use each of the 3 iterations here, okay, this one, and this one to derive the dual iteration. Okay? We will use the theorem and the relationship to derive it. Okay? So, first thing you need to know, okay? So, ito importante to. Pag basic sa primal, non-basic yung corresponding variable niya. Pag non-basic, basic. So, yan lang ang kailangan nating baon para magawa ito. Okay, so, sinulat ko ulit dito yung iteration 1. So, ito yung iteration 1 ng primal. Yung sinolve natin, ito yon. Okay? Ito yon. Okay, binaba ko lang. Okay, so ito yon. This is your iteration 1. Now, what I want to do, I don't want to solve from scratch. Basta meron kayong iteration ng primal or ng dual, you should be able to get the iteration of the dual or the primal, the corresponding. Okay? So this is now for the dual. So all I know now is that in my dual, there are 5 variables, y1, y2, y3, t1, and t2. So I can list them down. y1, y2, y3, t1, t2. Basis, solution. So magagawa niyo yan, di ba? The shell, the tableau. Next, the first row is always yo. Ang kailangan kong malaman is this. Ano ba yung basic variables sa first iteration ng dual? Okay? So again, you will get that from Theorem 3. Right? So, kaya naka-label, di ba? Ang non-basic variable sa primal, ang corresponding variable niya sa dual should be basic. Okay? Itong basic variables, ang corresponding variables niya sa dual should be non-basic. Meaning, since ang corresponding variable ng S1, S2, S3 is Y1, Y2, Y3, since basic ang S1, S2, S3 sa first iteration, dapat non-basic ito. 0 silang tatlo. Since non-basic ang X1, X2, okay? You see here, X1, X2 are non-basic. Dapat yung corresponding variable niya, which are T1 and T2, should be basic. So this much you know. From Theorem 3, you know that these two in iteration 1 of the dual should be basic, and these 3 should be non-basic. Any questions so far before I proceed? Any questions so far? Okay, so good. Again, you look here. Basic in the primal, the corresponding variables are non-basic. Non-basic in the primal, the corresponding variables x1, x2 should be basic. And hence, pag alam nyo ng basic itong dalawa, you know already, it follows that you will put T1 and T2 here. Okay, so that's the start. Next, look at this. Sabi natin, the dual iteration is the exact mirror of the primal iteration. So if it's the exact mirror, then if Z is 0, your Y sub O should also be 0. Yan yung mirroring. Okay? 0 din yan. So that's the next. So first, determine your basic variables here. Okay, from the relationship. Next, kung ano yung Z, yan yung Y sub O. Okay? Next. This is a minimization problem. So sabi natin, okay, if we are solving, itong mirroring na iterations, ang solution methodology dito is dual simplex. Okay, dual simplex. And therefore, pag dual simplex ito, dapat lahat ng iterations except the optimal one. Okay? All the iterations that you will have, okay, except the optimal, should be super optimal. Right? So in other words, if you have 10 iterations, dapat iteration 1 to 9 should be super optimal and iteration 10 is optimal. Ganyan ang ibig sabihin ng dual simplex approach. Okay, so let me emphasize that itong diniderive natin dito is using the dual simplex approach. And it is because you are actually using the dual simplex approach, okay, that you can assume that if this is 0, this is also 0. Okay? Okay, again, it is because we are using the dual simplex method approach that we can assume that if Z is 0, Y is also 0 in the same iteration number. Okay? So, after that, what you have to do now is to transfer the coefficients using the relationship. So this is primal, this is dual. So alam natin na ito, objective function coefficient would go to the right-hand side. But not in all cases, ita-transfer mo lang agad as it is, no? Negative 30, negative 25. You have to look at the placement. Okay? Nagkataon, T1 corresponds to X1. So kapag tinransfer ko itong negative 30, dapat ilalagay ko siya kung nasaan yung row ng T1. Okay? So nandito siya. So therefore, I will put negative 30 here. We will use the primal dual relationships in deriving the table for the dual. You don't have to solve na. Okay? You just use the relationship to derive the iteration of the dual. And then negative 25 here is under X2. Okay? Since X2 is corresponding to T2, you have to put it in the row of T2. So you have negative 25 here. So as you can see, in the first iteration of the dual, expected ito. Okay, sorry. Expected ito. Infeasible dapat. Kasi, sabi natin, dapat the table, every iteration, should be super optimal since we're using dual simplex. Okay, every iteration should be super optimal. Okay, should be super optimal. Okay, so infeasible. So here, we will now transfer, we will now get the coefficients here. Okay, so before you do that, para hindi kayo malito, alam nyo naman yung rule ng simplex table, di ba? Tableau. Pag basic, alam natin, dapat 0 to, tapos identity matrix sa constraint. So ilagay nyo na, para hindi kayo malito. 0 to, okay, tapos identity matrix sa constraints. The same Tableau requirements will still hold. Okay? So, yun. So, ito na lang ang problema natin. No? Ito na lang. This one is our problem. So, now, we will start transferring here. Okay? This right-hand side becomes the objective function coefficient. So, again, it's not as easy as 40, 45, 12. Okay? Nagkataon ulit ngayon, kailangan mo lang tignan. Itong 40, ang katapat niya S1. So dapat ilalagay mo siya under Y1 kasi S1 corresponds to Y1. So 40 ilalagay ko under Y1. Okay? Next, 45 ilalagay ko under Y2 kasi S2 yung katapat niya eh. So therefore, 45 ilalagay ko dito. And then 12 ilalagay ko under Y3 kasi S3 yung katapat niya. So now, after you have transferred the right-hand side to the objective function, check, is this row optimal? Kasi the requirement for dual simplex is that the solution column is infeasible, but the objective function row has to be optimal. So it's a minimization problem. If you have positive coefficients, is it optimal already? Last, is it optimal? If you look at the objective function row, yung YO row, is that row already optimal? Or may entering variable ka? Okay, Joaquin, not yet optimal. Kyle, super optimal? No. Super optimal means that this row should be optimal. And this row, this column should be infeasible. It has to be that combination. So this row is not that optimal kasi if you think about it, doon sa procedure natin, pag minimization, di ba we choose the most positive as the entering variable pag minimization? Since meron ka pang positive dito, most positive is 45, may entering variable ka. So anytime na may entering variable ka, hindi pa optimal yung tableau. Okay? So therefore, having positive coefficients in a minimization dual, okay, means that this row is not optimal. So it violates the requirement that each iteration should be super optimal. Okay? Okay na tayo dito, infeasible to. Pero dapat optimal to. And the only way to make this an optimal row is to make this negative. To make all of this negative. Okay? The question is, can I do that? Yan. Pag negative yung 40, 45, tsaka 12, is this already an optimal row? Optimal na ba yan for a minimization problem? Meron ka pa bang entering variable na makukuha? Okay, optimal na to. Wala nang entering variable. Okay, thanks Mariel. Wala nang entering variable. Pag negative lahat yan, walang entering variable. So optimal na to. Tapos infeasible to. So this combination of optimal and infeasible will produce a super-optimal tableau. And hence, dual simplex approach can be used. Okay? Again, for the nth time, I'm emphasizing that dual simplex can only be used if the tableau is super-optimal. Okay? So, now, ang nangyari is minanipulate ko eh. Kaya naging optimal to kasi nilagyan ko ng negative. Pero if you think about it, saan ba nanggaling yung 40, 45, tsaka 12? Di ba nanggaling siya sa primal equations? 40, 45, tsaka 12? So, pag ginawa kong negative yung 40, ang ibig sabihin lang niyan is okay lang kapag yung buong equation, minultiply ko ng negative 1. Kasi remember, each row in the tableau is an equation. So if I multiply this whole row by negative 1, this becomes negative 2, negative 1, negative 1, 0, 0, negative 40. Did I change this equation by multiplying by negative 1? Did I? Or it's still the same equation? It's still the same. Mariel, thank you. Okay, still the same, Kyle. So it's still the same equation. So ibig sabihin, I can actually convert 40, 45, and 12, all of them to negative by simply multiplying each equation, each row, by negative 1. So, hindi ko na ilalagay dito no, para hindi kayo malito. But just imagine that I multiplied this row, and this row by negative 1. And therefore, in that process, this becomes negative 40, negative 45, and negative 12. So pag tinransfer ko ngayon ito dito, negative na siya. Okay, negative 45, negative 40, negative 45, and negative 12 na siya. Okay? So ngayon, pupunta na ako sa constraint. Okay, sa constraint, alam natin na sa constraint, the row, okay, huwag nyo nang pansinin yung identity matrix. Dito na lang kayo mag-focus doon sa non-basic variables lang. Okay, dito. Sa mga non-basic variables na constraint coefficients. Okay? So alam natin that the row becomes the column here or the column becomes the row. So column by column na lang tayo. Itong dalawang column lang naman ang kailangan natin. Okay, na ilipat. So let's go here sa X1 column. Obviously, X1 corresponds to T1. Okay, in the dual. So therefore, the X1 constraint coefficients should become the row for T1. Okay, so if I'm going to transfer this, this will now become 2, 1, 1. Magiging row siya. Pero remember that for us to have negative here, we multiplied every row by negative 1. Meaning, lahat ng coefficients sa equation magiging negative of what it originally is. So yung 2, 1, 1 ko dito is now transformed to be negative 2, negative 1, and negative 1. Kaya pag nilipat ko siya dito, okay, be careful ha, pag nilipat ko siya dito, yung 2 magiging negative 2, pero saan ko siya ilalagay? Kailangan nasa ilalim siya ng y1 kasi S1 yung katapat niya eh. Okay, kailangan nasa ilalim siya ng y1. So negative 2 ilalagay ko dito. Itong 1, okay, is here kasi S2 yung katapat niya, dapat nasa ilalim siya ng y2. Ito namang 1 na to, S3 katapat, dapat nasa ilalim ng y3. So nagkataon sunod-sunod siya. So negative 1, negative 1. I hope class that you understand bakit yung 2, 1, 1 naging negative 2, negative 1, negative 1. Kasi prior to doing this, okay, we multiplied each of these 3 rows by negative 1 to convert this to negative para pag nilipat natin dito, negative siya at maging optimal tong tableau na to. Maging optimal tong 0 na to. Okay? So let's go to the second column. Under X2, so dapat itong column na to magiging row ng T2, corresponding variable. So again, yung pagkasunod-sunod niya is S1, S2, S3. So dapat ang pagkasunod-sunod ng paglipat natin should be Y1, Y2, Y3. Negative 1, negative 3, and 0. Don't forget ha, it becomes negative 1, negative 3, and 0. So that would be the first iteration, completed iteration of your dual model. So ano tong dual model? Ito yon. Okay? Ito yung dual model. Ito yung sinosolve natin. Okay? Itong model na to, ang first iteration niya, kapag gumamit ka ng dual simplex method, will be this. Okay? At hindi ko ginamit yung procedure. If you notice, I did not use the dual simplex algorithm. I simply made use of what is available to me, which is the iteration 1 of the primal model. Okay? So from here, madederive mo ngayon yung iteration 1 ng dual. Okay, let's practice further. Okay, let's practice further. So without using the algorithm for dual simplex, no? 'Di ba sa dual simplex, ano uli yung procedure? Pag mayroon ka ng table, first check, super optimal ba to? The answer is yes. This is super optimal. Okay? Bilugan ko para ma-highlight. Yes, this is super optimal. Right? Kasi infeasible dito and then optimal dito. That combination makes it super optimal. So next, you have to, for the dual simplex method, you have to find the leading variable first, di ba? If you will follow the algorithm, you have to find the leading variable first. So you will see that the leading variable is the most negative solution column value. So, lagyan ko lang ng marka dito. This will be the leading variable. Okay? And then, since this is the leading variable, you will now get the ratio. You now get the ratio between these elements here in your objective function and the pivot row elements. Okay, kukunin mo ngayon yung ratio. So, if you get the ratio, this will be 20, this will be 40. Ito yung dual simplex algorithm. This will be 45, this will be 12. And for minimization problem, you're asked to choose the smallest ratio. Smallest ratio is 12. So therefore, makikita natin, Y3 would be the entering variable if you follow the dual simplex method. So this will be your entering variable, Y3. Okay? So leaving variable is T1. Entering variable is Y3. But I will not do that and send. Then pagka meron ka ng entering and leaving, parang mag-iterate ka na lang, di ba? You'll get the pivot element, divide it para maging 1, and then make all the others 0. So parang nagsisimplex ka na lang. So, but again, I do not want to solve this using the algorithm. Okay? So, buburahin ko na ulit to. Buburahin ko na to. I want to use iteration 2 of the primal to derive the iteration 2 of the dual. Ayoko na mag-Gauss Jordan. Okay? Ayoko na mag-entering and leaving variable. Ayoko na mag-iterate. Diderive ko na lang sa iteration 2 ng primal. So again, balik tayo sa exercise natin. So sa iteration 2 ng primal, ito yung nakuha natin kanina. Okay? Nakita natin ng entering variable. Okay, it's okay. Nandiyan siya, okay lang. This is iteration 2 and makikita natin na ang entering variable natin dito sa iteration 1 is x1, leading variable is s3. So therefore, x1 becomes basic. So maging s1, s2, x1 na. Ito yon, s1, s2, x1. And then we did the Gauss Jordan, nag-iterate na tayo kanina. So ito yung lumabas na table. You will see 360 na ngayon yung z value, di ba? And then ito yung mga basic variable values. So from here, we will derive the dual. So saan tayo uli mag-umpisa? Start here. Identify the basic and the non-basic variables. Ulitin natin yung proseso kanina, ha? So, fill up this table. Iteration 2 for the dual. You know that you have 5 variables and this much you can fill up. First row is YO. Next, alam naman natin sa primal kung ano yung basic and non-basic. Kasi kita mo na dito yung basic. Oh, S1, S2, and X1 are basic and then these two are non-basic. So, focus tayo sa non-basic muna. Okay? Focus tayo sa non-basic. So, sa non-basic, ang corresponding variables nitong dalawang non-basic should be basic in the dual. Class, anong corresponding variable ng X2? Thanks, Joaquin. Thanks, okay, thanks, Mariel. Pero ang corresponding variable ng x2 sa dual is T2. Okay, T2. Remember, the decision variable, ang corresponding niya sa dual would be the slack or surplus. Tapos yung slack or surplus sa primal would be the decision variable. So, x2 corresponds to T2. And then, S3 corresponds to, anyone? S3 corresponds to what variable in the dual? Quickly. Y3. Okay, thanks, Joaquin. Y3. So therefore, bakit ko siningle out ito? Kasi sila yung non-basic sa primal iteration number 2. So yung non-basic ang kailangan ko malaman kasi yung corresponding nila yung basic para malagyan ko to, yung basic variable column. So makikita natin that basic variables are T2 and Y3. So alam na natin yan. Sulat ko na dito. This is basic. This is basic. The rest are obviously non-basic. And again, I was able to conclude this based on theorem number 3 or the complementary slackness theorem. Okay? So alam ko, T2 and Y3 are basic. So next is, paano ko ilalagay dito? Do I put T2 and Y3? You have to check the previous iteration. So makikita natin sa previous iteration, ang entering variable natin, Y3. Ang leaving variable is T1. So therefore, yung Y3 na yan, dapat pumunta yan dito to replace T1, which is the leaving variable. Kaya ang placement niyan would be Y3 first, then T2. Okay, so hindi T2 and Y3. Dapat Y3 muna, then T2. Okay, so you don't need to know what the entering and leaving variables are. All you have to look at sa iteration 1 ng dual is this one. Since alam natin that T2 and Y3 are supposed to be the basic variables, then T2 will remain here. Ito lang yung papalitan ng Y3. Okay? So again, first step is look for the non-basic variables. Yung corresponding niya would be basic. And then tingnan natin yung position sa basic para malaman natin kung paano natin isusulat yung basic variables dito. Saan natin isisingit yung bagong basic variable. So once you have that, the next step is this one. Sabi natin mirror, di ba? Mirror. So dapat 360 rin ito. Okay, 360 rin yan. So now that this is filled out already, the next step after this one is look at the basic variables. Dapat 0 yan sa objective function coefficient. Okay? And then, sa constraint, dapat identity matrix. Since nauna yung Y3, bago yung T2, dapat Y3 muna, 1, 0, and then 0, 1. So, fill up nyo muna yung requirement ng Tableau. So, do you follow class so far? So far, itong nasa screen nyo ngayon, sa right side, nakakasunod ba kung bakit ganyan yung elements? Okay. Sige. Thank you. Alright, so now, balik na tayo sa ginagawa natin kanina. So here, from the objective function coefficient ng primal, mapupunta siya dito sa right side. So, negative 25 and 30. So again, please make sure, no, do not transfer blindly na negative 25 and 30. Okay? Dapat tignan nyo kung itong negative 25, ano ba yung variable na nasa taas niya? It's x2. So dapat, ilalagay mo yung negative 25 sa tapat ng corresponding variable niya, which is T2. Okay? So negative 25, hanapin nyo yung T2 dito. Yung hanapin nyo yung T2, dapat dito nyo ilalagay yung negative 25. Hindi dyan. Okay? So, tanggalin ko na to ha. So again, you know that negative 25 and 30 should go here, pero negative 25 should be written here kasi it is corresponding to x2 and t2. Kaya ito yun, x2 and t2. Dapat siya mo ilagay. And then the 30 is s3, so it should correspond to y3. Kaya 30 ilalagay ko dito. So again, as you can see, this iteration 2 of the dual is infeasible pa rin. May negative eh. Okay, infeasible. And alam natin, since hindi pa naman optimal ito dahil may infeasible, we know that this iteration should still be super optimal dapat, or should satisfy the super optimality requirements. So, we transfer now, ito, right-hand side, lipat naman natin dito sa taas. Same problem as earlier, di ba? Pag nilipat natin itong 16, ang katapat niya S1, dapat sa Y1 natin ilalagay. Ang 33, katapat niya S2, dapat sa Y2 natin ilalagay. At yung 12, katapat niya X1, dapat sa T1 natin ilalagay. So, straightforward lang. 16, 33, and then 12. Kasi magkakasunod eh. S1, S2, X1, S1, S2, X1, magkakasunod. Y1, Y2, T1. Yung corresponding variables niya. But then, stop again. After you fill up the objective function, stop again. This row should be optimal. So just like the first iteration, yung original coefficients na tinransfer natin na positive does not make the first row, objective function row, optimal. Eh. This is not optimal and not feasible. So therefore, hindi siya super optimal. So to be super optimal, we have to, again, just like what we did earlier, make this negative. Para maging optimal tong row na to, not feasible to, para we can produce itong super optimal na iteration. Okay? So again, in so doing, we will adopt the same principle, di ba? Para malipat natin as negative values yung 16, 33, and 12, each row has to be multiplied by -1 without changing the sense of equality, change of the sense of the equation or the system. So we maintain the whole system of equations, pero we multiplied each equation by -1. So take note na lang na lahat ng mga coefficients dito would have reverse signs. Pag positive, magiging negative. Pag negative, magiging positive. So now, we go to the constraints. So, ano ba dito ang papansinin natin? Huwag nyo nang pansinin itong identity matrix na 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. It's just this column, yung non-basic variable columns lang sa constraints ang kailangan natin pansinin. In other words, sa revised simplex, yung matrix n lang. Okay, yung matrix n lang ang kailangan natin. Okay? So, ito yon, di ba? We will have that. Actually, this is B inverse n. No? So, we will have this. So now, this one, this column is x2. So dapat, hanapin ko yung magiging row kasi to eh. Magiging row to, transpose. Di ba? Magiging row. Hanapin ko yung row ng T2. Okay? So hindi ko siya ililipat dito. Dapat sa T2 ko siya ililipat. Itong 130 na to should be here. Okay? So now, how to write the 130? First, dapat negative na yan. Kasi we multiply this whole rows by -1. So -1, -3, and 0 yan. Saan ko ilalagay ngayon yung -1? I have 3 positions to put it. Here, here, or here. Where will I put -1? Under what? Under Y1. Okay? So I will put, again, sa T2 row, kasi X2 column yun, no? I will put -1 under Y1. And then, itong 3 or -3 na to, under Y2, and then 0 under T1. So, nagkataon sunod-sunod. -1, -3, and then 0. Okay? And then, I will move now to the other non-basic variable, which is this. So, itong tatlong to. So -2 becomes +2, +1, and -1. I-reverse ko lang yung sign because of what I did earlier dito sa tatlong to. Okay, so positive 2, 1, and 1. Again, under y1, y2, and t1. So transfer lang. 2, 1, and negative 1. Under y1, y2, and t1. Okay? So I hope that's clear. I hope that's clear, huh? Okay, so I move to the next slide. Okay, on the left side. So itong slide naman na to is a summary of the dual model iterations using dual simplex. So again, assumption here ng mga iterations na to is dual simplex ang ginamit. Okay, kaya you will have 3 iterations din, no? Mirroring iterations. Ang sabi dito, this is just a summary, no? Solution column lang ito. Ang sabi dito, the first iteration of the dual model, pag sinolve nyo using dual simplex, would be super optimal. So balik tayo, no? Ito yung iteration 1, ito, ng dual, super optimal yan. Okay? And then, you will see, T1 is negative 30, okay? T2 is negative 25. So ito yon, negative 30, negative 25. And then YO is 0, ito yon. All the other variables that are not here are assumed to be 0. Non-basic sila. Next, iteration number 2. So punta tayo sa dual iteration number 2. Ito yon. Okay? Again, you will see it's super optimal. Okay? Super optimal siya. And then, you will see that Y3 is 30. Ito yon, Y3 is 30. And then, T2 is negative 25. T2 is negative 25. And then, Y sub O is 360 here. And then the rest of the variables here are 0. Okay? And of course, you can already determine the entering and the leaving variable, di ba? So T1, T2, ang nag-leave is T1, ang nag-enter is Y3. Kaya ito yon, Y3 and T1. Tapos dito naman, we will go to iteration 3. So ito yung iteration 2 ng dual, no? So makikita natin, obviously, ito yung leaving variable, T2. Leaving variable is T2. This is the only negative here. And then you will get the ratio, no? 16 by 1, 33 by 3. Y2 yung magiging entering variable niya using dual simplex, the smaller ratio. So again, this is the optimal tableau of the primal. No? So again, from the primal tableau, I can derive the dual. So practice tayo ulit. Yan ulit ang masusulat natin. Iteration 3 of the dual, okay, we'll have these variables and this one. So again, saan yung focus ko? Dito o dito? Basic or non-basic? Para malagyan ko to. Saan ako titingin? Sa non-basic. Tama. Okay, thank you, Mariel. Sa non-basic. So S2, SP non-basic. Ano yung corresponding variable niya? Corresponding variable would be your Y2 and Y3. Okay, thank you, Kyle. So Y2 and Y3, thank you, Mariel. Y2 and Y3. So therefore, dapat basic yung Y2 and Y3 sa dual iteration mo. So, again, do I write it as Y2 and Y3? Dito, Y2, Y3. I should look at the previous iteration. Makikita natin, Y3 and T2 yung previous iteration. So if Y2 is the entering variable, Y2 will now replace T2. Kaya ang position would be Y3 and then Y2. So this helps us know what the basic variables are. They are Y2 and Y3. Pero in the positioning, dapat mauna yung Y3 bago yung Y2. Because in the previous iteration, nauna yung Y3. Okay? And Y2 entered to replace T2, which is the leading variable. Okay? So I hope that's clear, Y3 and Y2. And then, since 635 ito, mirroring 635 din ito. Dapat 635. Yan we've done 3 iterations already. Paulit-ulit lang. Ang next na gagawin nyo is hanapin niyo yung basic variable. So ito, Y2 and Y3, basic. Ito, non-basic. Non-basic. So hanapin niyo yung basic kasi alam niyo pag basic yung variable, 0 dapat yung coefficient. Tapos identity matrix dapat sa constraints. So Y3 yung nauna. Again, be careful ha. Baka gawin nyo 1001. Mali yun. Y3 yung nauna dito. So therefore, dapat Y3 muna yung 10. And then, Y2 yung 0, 1. Okay? I hope that's clear. Okay? Positioning is very important in the Tableau. So once you have that, okay, you can now transfer the coefficients from your objective function row of your primal magiging right-hand side ng dual. Okay? So again, the positioning here, important. This is S2, S3. So dapat ito, Y2, Y3. So dapat yung 25/3, pag dinagay nyo rito, mali yun. Okay? 25/3 is under S2. S2 corresponds to Y2. So dapat yung 25/3 nasa Y2 row nakalagay. Yan yung value ng Y2. And then, yung 65/3 is under S3, which corresponds to Y3. So dapat 65/3 should be here. I hope that's clear. Okay. And then, just like what we're doing, now, you will see that this is no longer a super optimal tableau. Kasi, makikita ninyo na feasible na to. So, pag feasible na to, dapat last iteration na yan. Dapat optimal na rin ito. Okay, dapat optimal na rin yan. Okay? So, therefore, ang mangyayari, para maging optimal to, dapat negative lahat ng coefficient. So, pag tin-transfer ko, 5, 11, and 12. Okay? 5 is for S1. So, dapat ilalagay ko yung 5 dito. There are 3 slots here. Okay? Since 5 is S1, dapat ilalagay ko siya under Y1, yung corresponding variable niya. So, I will put 5 here. Next, saan ko ilalagay yung 11 class? I have 2 more slots. Saan ko ilalagay yung 11? Under T2. Thanks, Mariel. So, under T2, so X2. Thanks. So, therefore, dapat 11 is here. And then yung 12 is X1. So, under T1 dapat. So, dapat ilagay ko yung 12 dito. Then, yung ginagawa natin, dapat optimal to. Hindi pwedeng feasible dito tapos hindi optimal dito. So, dapat optimal na to. So, therefore, this should be negative. Negative. Dapat negative lahat ng coefficients since minimization yung problem for it to be optimal. So, this tableau is therefore optimal. Kasi kung optimal na yung primal, sinabi naman sa problem na optimal tableau na ito eh. Okay? So, therefore, dapat yung mirror iteration ng dual should also be optimal. Okay? So, dapat optimal na rin yan. Yan, optimal na yan. Okay? So again, since I converted this 3 to negative, alam niyo na kung ano mangyayari sa bawat row, di ba? Bawat row should be multiplied by -1 and therefore the signs would change. Okay? So now, forget about the identity matrix. Focus on these 2 columns lang. Palaging columns lang ng non-basic variable ang focus nyo. Okay? This S2 column would become, the corresponding variable here is Y2. It would become the row for, not here, but here for Y2. Since this is taken from the S2 column, it should be placed in the Y2 row. Okay? So, ang tanong na lang is the order. -1/3, 1/3, and 0. These coefficients will now become +1/3, -1/3, and 0. Okay, +1/3 kasi nga we multiplied all the 3 rows by -1. So magiging positive, negative, and 0 to. So now, transfer na natin. S2 should go to Y2. Alam natin dito. Saan ko ilalagay ngayon yung +1/3 na to? Okay, saan ko ilalagay? I have 3 slots. 3 slots here. Saan ko ilalagay yung +1/3? Under try again, Mariel. These coefficients are under S2. So ilalagay ko sa Y2 row, di ba? So negative, this is positive 1/3 na kasi we multiply by negative 1 eh. Is katapat ni S1. Ano ang corresponding variable ng S1? Y1. So therefore, dapat ilagay ko under Y1. So positive 1/3 will be placed here. Okay? So ito pa lang yung nagawa natin ha. Ito. Next, we're doing this column, no? We're transferring, magiging ganitong row siya. Next, itong negative 1/3. So from positive, naging negative 1/3 ito. Okay? Ang katapat niya x2. So dapat ilagay ko siya under T2. Tama. Okay? So negative 1/3, I will put it under T2. Kaya kailangan careful kayo. And then 0, of course, I will put it here. Okay, next. Ito, okay, negative 5/3, magiging positive 5/3 na to. Again, this would be under Y1, positive 5/3. Next would be negative 1/3, magiging positive 1/3 to, pero ang katapat niya is x2. So therefore, T2, dapat under T2 yon. So positive 1/3 under T2. And then the last one would be under T1, that would be negative 1. So take note, I reverse the signs, no, of each one. So this would be the last iteration, and therefore you have your optimal solution. So if you look at the left side, you will see, okay, you will see that Y2 is 25/3, Y3 is 65/3, okay, and then Z is Y sub O is 635. Okay, which is this one. And then optimal tableau siya. And just like I told you in the first meeting of duality theory, these values here are very important. Okay? Ito. Very important to. Kasi, as I've said, shadow price yan. It becomes the basis, no, for sensitivity analysis or for deciding whether or not you should still increase. Balik ako ha. Ito yung original LP model natin, primal. Okay, ito. So again, this is your labor. This is your machine time. This is your marketing effort, di ba? So since Y2 and Y3 are both positive, no? If you look here, Y2 is 25/3, 65/3 to. Ang sinasabi lang nitong shadow price na to, no? Shadow price is that there is value in increasing this resource, these two resources. Kung meron tayong additional machine time na makukuha, whether mag-acquire tayo, bumili tayo ng machine, or whether ipa-subcontract, paggawa natin sa labas na may similar machine, doesn't matter. But if we can add machine time, it's telling us that every hour of machine time added will add 25/3 to our profit. And therefore, if you are faced with a decision whether to increase your machine time or not, you can look at the dual variable value that corresponds to this resource. So ito naman, itong Y3, which is your marketing, kung kaya mo bang dagdagan yung production mo at yung marketing effort mo, do so. Kasi every additional unit that you're able to sell of product A will be able to add incrementally to your profit 65/3. May additional gain ka or benefit ka from that. Pero it's telling us at the same time that this one, labor time being 0. 0 kasi yung value niya eh. Ibig sabihin, walang value, walang halaga ngayon itong shadow price, itong pag-increase ng labor time. Kasi as it is, the slack variable S1 at optimum has a value of, if you look here, S1 has a value of 5. Ibig sabihin, yung labor time mo, hindi mo na ubos. Okay? This one, no, product A and B, 35 hours lang ang nagamit mo. May slack ka pa na 5 dito. Okay? So there's no value increasing the labor time at this moment. Okay? So yun ngayon yung significance. So anyway, so let me go back and move to your assignment, no? So, hindi natin isosolve ito. You just follow the algorithm. Pinakita ko naman sa inyo yung algorithm kung paano po yung leaving and entering. So sa dual simplex method, ito, it's the same model that we solved. This is the one, this one, on the right side of your screen. So in if you look at the original dual model, you have two greater than constraints here. Okay, two greater than constraints. And if you want to solve this using dual simplex, you can actually use dual simplex basta't may isang greater than or may equal to na constraint. If your constraint is equal to, you have to do this first. You have to transform the equality constraint to a less than equal to and then a greater than equal to. Tinuro ko na ito sa inyo last meeting. From asymmetric to symmetric. Pag may equality constraint ka sa model, you have to transform it into two inequalities, no? Isang less than, isang greater than. And then if you want to use dual simplex, okay na tong less than, pero itong greater than, kailangan mo i-convert into less than or equal to by multiplying by -1. And then, once all the constraints are already less than or equal to, okay, you add the corresponding slack variables. Kaya ang ginawa dito, since parehong greater than ito, kinonvert mo na to less than here. And ginawa lang yan by multiplying this whole row by -1 times -1 lang. Okay? Multiply by -1. Okay? You get this. Once you have less than, magdagdag ka na ng dalawang slack variable. So, yung slack variable dito was defined as plus T1 and plus T2. Okay? So, that would be the two slacks here. So, a standard form na ngayon to. So, makikita natin sa standard form, because we multiplied by -1, this became -30 and -25. So, you will see that the right side of your equation is -30 and -25. So when you transfer this to the tableau, again, you always start a solution type na dual simplex with the standard form. Okay? And then the initial solution does not have to be feasible. Yun lang yung difference ng dual simplex. You just come up with an initial solution, count the number of variables and the number of constraints. You have 3 variables should be 0. Same pa rin, you start with the origin. But in starting with the origin, you produce T1 and T2 to be negative, which is infeasible. So that's fine for dual simplex. Kasi you're expected to start with an infeasible solution na optimal na yung 0. So again, going here, you will see you're minimizing. You're minimizing your dual here. You're minimizing. Pero, makikita mo yung objective function value mo, 0, tapos 360, tumataas. Di ba? Tumataas. Tapos, after 360, naging 635. So, you will see that the objective function value from 0, 360 to 635, tumataas siya, but you're minimizing. Kasi nga, yung 0 at 360 are super optimal solutions. They're better than the optimal. So, kung ang optimal mo 635, 360 and 0 are better than 635. Kaya super optimal ang tawag natin. It's more than the optimal. Okay? So now, once you have the starting solution, you now put it into your simplex table. So I just want to show you na yung pinakita dyan sa slide, iteration 1 ng dual is exactly this one. Dinerive lang natin ito from the primal iteration, di ba? Pero without doing the dual simplex algorithm, ito na rin yun. It's the same. Okay? Iteration 1 here is the same as iteration 1 here. Okay? Next, you go to iteration 2. Iteration 2 that you see in that slide, okay, is exactly this one. Okay? Tingnan nyo yung bawat element, no? Bawat row, pareho yan. And then, iteration 3, the last iteration is exactly this slide. It's exactly this one. Okay. So now, it's optimal. You have your optimal solution. So note, for the dual simplex method, the logic is always moving from infeasibility to optimality. It cannot jump from super optimal to suboptimal and then back to optimal. Hindi pwede. Kaya sabi ko kanina, if you have 10 iterations, the first 9 should be super optimal. Okay? And then the last one will be optimal. It's the last one that will be optimal. Okay? So, that's it, no? And I just want, for those who can stay behind, I will just show you yung augmented dual simplex. Very quick lang to, 6 slides lang. Mabilis lang din naman intindihin. So I just show you the augmented dual simplex, but I need to stop share. Stop share, and then, okay. Class, do you see it? Those who are still here, do you see it? Okay. Okay, so augmented dual simplex. So again, sometimes we have models where we have greater than or equal to constraints na doon sa model. And if we do not want to use artificial variables or big M, and we want to avoid the burdensome use of these variables, we may want to solve the model, whether it's a primal or a dual, basta't may greater than constraint, you may want to solve it using dual simplex. But sometimes, when we set up the tableau, after getting the standard form and the initial solution, when we set up the tableau, the first tableau is not super optimal. And again, let me emphasize that if it's not super optimal, you cannot use the dual simplex algorithm. So therefore, mayroon tayong augmented dual simplex method, the purpose of which is to convert a tableau that's not super optimal into a super optimal one para magamit natin yung dual simplex algorithm. So let's proceed. Augmented dual simplex method is used if the first iteration or the tableau is neither optimal, tandaan nyo to ha, neither optimal nor feasible. Okay, so far we have discussed suboptimal, optimal, and super optimal kanina, no, sa lessons natin. Itong tatlong to. Suboptimal, yung solution column is feasible, is a combination of feasible and not optimal doon sa objective function row. Feasible and not optimal. Ang optimal naman is a combination of feasible and optimal sa objective function row. Super optimal naman is a combination of not feasible sa solution column and optimal sa objective function row. So again, take note of the differences. Now, sometimes, meron kang not optimal sa solution column, pero sa objective function row, not optimal din. So the combination of infeasible and not optimal will give rise to the augmented dual simplex method. So ito yon, not optimal and not feasible din. So whenever you have a table, a simplex table that's not optimal and not feasible at the same time, then you can use augmented dual simplex to convert it to a super optimal tableau. Ito yung objective. So let's go to this example. Ayan yung LP model, no? So if you look at the LP model there, if I want to solve this, no, using dual simplex method, this is what I'll do, di ba? Ang first, ano yung first step natin? First step is for us to, bago kayo mag-standard form, okay, before getting the standard form, the first step is to convert all, okay, take note, solve using dual simplex method. So convert all the constraints to less than or equal to. So therefore, you will have max z equal to x1 plus 2x2 subject to x1 plus x2 less than or equal to 4. And then the second constraint has to be converted first, no? Negative x1 minus 2x2 less than or equal to negative 4. Then x1, x2 greater than or equal to 0. So once you have converted everything to less than, you now solve using dual simplex. So to solve, laging ang first step is standard form. Okay, so standard form, z minus x1, class I'm going fast na, no? Pero you should be able to understand this, di ba? Z minus x1 minus 2x2 equal to 0 in standard form. Just transpose everything. And then for the constraints, x1 plus x2, then you add your slack variables, no? Plus s1 equal to 4. And then negative x1 minus 2x2 plus s2 equal to negative 4. And then x1, x2 greater than or equal to 0. So that's your standard form. Next, identify your initial solution. Doesn't have to be feasible kasi dual simplex eh. So M, you have 4 variables, 2 constraints. So therefore, 2 variables, assume 0, that should be x1 equal to x2 equal to 0. That's your non-basic. And then S1 is equal to 4, S2 is equal to negative 4. As you can see, you're starting off with an infeasible solution. So that's your basic variables. Next, tableau. So iteration 1. So pareho lang naman, no? May madadagdag lang na step. Iteration 1, so you have basis, 4 variables, x1, x2, s1, S2, then I just put solution column here. Then your Z, and then you have 2 basic variables, S1 and S2. Okay, so transfer the coefficients. Diba? So, sanay na tayo dapat dito. Negative 1, negative 2, 0, 0, 0. And then for the constraint, you have 1, 1, 1, 0, 4. And then negative 1, negative 2, 0, 1, negative 4. So now, after transferring all the coefficients to the simplex tableau, you now check, okay? You will see that on the solution column, it's not feasible. Okay? It's infeasible kasi may negative eh. Dito naman sa objective function row, we are maximizing. Okay? Tapos may negative. May negative ka. So, ibig sabihin, not optimal. Di ba? So, you're not feasible, not optimal. Kaya, this is the case where you have neither optimal nor feasible. Okay? And therefore, alam nyo na, hindi nyo pwedeng gamitin agad yung algorithm ng dual simplex na leading variable ito, tapos kukunin nyo yung ratio. Hindi pwede. Kasi hindi pa optimal to eh. Okay? So, anong gagawin natin ngayon? So, ito ngayon yung procedure. If you have an iteration that's neither optimal nor feasible, ang gagawin nyo is to look at, since hindi pa siya optimal, ibig sabihin mayroon kang entering variable, kaya hindi pa siya optimal. So hanapin nyo, ano yung mga variables that qualify as entering variable in this tableau? Maximization problem. Does this qualify? Itong coefficient na to? To be entering variable? Kyle? Yes, both x1 and x2. Both x1 and x2 qualify as entering variable. Kasi nga, they have negative coefficients. Both of them, any of them can be entering variable. Okay? So, ang rule lang is for us to be able to augment, okay, kaya augmented dual simplex eh. What we will do is to transform this to a super optimal tableau. And to do that, what we will do is to augment in our original model, sa original model natin dito, mag-augment tayo ng isa pang constraint. At yung constraint na yun will get the sum of all the variables that qualify as entering variable. In our example, both x1 and x2 qualify. We will get the sum of these variables. Kung mayroon pang ibang nagpo-qualify, add nyo lang. Okay? And then, less than or equal to a very big number, m. Now, the reason why we are adding a constraint, a redundant constraint, is because we know that redundant constraints will not affect, redundant constraints like this will not affect the solution, the optimal solution of this model. Kasi redundant siya, pwede lang naman siyang tanggalin anytime. Diba? That's why, ang option natin in augmenting is to add a redundant constraint. So this is your redundant constraint and we are sure this is redundant kasi siguradong masasatisfy ito. Kahit anong value ng x1, x2 ang ilagay mo dyan, since it's less than or equal to 10 million or 100 million, you are sure that this equation or this inequality will be satisfied. And that's why it's a redundant constraint. So therefore, this is what you will add. And this is your redundant constraint. Of course, in adding a constraint to your model, yung tableau mo madadagdagan. Because if you get the standard form of this constraint, the standard form will be x1 plus x2 plus another slack equal to m. Okay? So idadagdag natin ngayon ito dito. So you will now have a third row and your m, your number of variables now will include S3 will now be 5. Okay? And then your number of constraints will be 3. Madadagdagan ng isa. Pero 2 variables pa rin ang 0. So your starting solution is still x1 equal x2 equals 0. Pero yung basic variables mo would now add S1 equals 4, S2 is equal to negative 4, and this time S3, since these two are 0 in your initial solution, S3 will be equal to M. So magdadagdag ka lang ng S3 equal to M. So yan lang yung change. Nagdagdag lang tayo ng isang basic, as you can see, nagdagdag tayo ng isang basic variable dito. Okay, so basic variable now extends to here. Okay, so since nagdagdag ako ng basic variable, dadagdag ko dito. Sa first iteration ko, yung original ko na tinransfer, magdadagdag ako ng S3. Since nagdagdag ako ng S3 dito, kailangan ko magdagdag ng S3 din dito. Okay? So it's literally adding a redundant constraint into the model and then transferring the coefficients of that constraint into your tableau. Sa objective function, wala ka namang S3, so the coefficient is 0. Sa constraint 1 and 2, wala ka namang S3, so 0 din yung coefficient. And then sa constraint 3, x1 plus x2, so tigwa 1 yung coefficient nito, 0, 0, 1, and then m. So class, this is your augmented initial iteration. Na-augment na natin yan. So again, the rule of augmented dual simplex is simply to add all the variables that qualify as entering variable in the first iteration, and then less than or equal to m, so add another slack variable, which is S3 in this case. Okay? And we will only do this if your right side is not feasible and your 0 is not optimal. then we have to do this. So now, once we have this, let me proceed. Ito na yun, standard form. So this tableau here is the original one that we got earlier. And then we concluded it's neither optimal nor feasible. So this slide tells you to use the dual simplex, the first iteration has to be super optimal. Since it's not super optimal, to achieve this, a redundant constraint is added to the original model. This new constraint adds the variables that qualify. Okay, adds the variables that qualify as EV. And the sum of these variables is taken to be less than or equal to a big number m. So this is what we did. Ito yun, this one. Okay? The sum is less than or equal to m. So in the example, you will have this. Okay. Next slide. In standard form, the new constraint will become this one. That's the standard form. X1 plus X3 is equal to M. And the first tableau, which is what we had here, madadagdag ito. Ito madadagdag and ito madadagdag. So that is exactly what we have here. Dinagdag natin to, dinagdag natin to. So now, what's the rule? The rule is, I'll have to erase this pala. This one. Okay? The rule is, mag-iterate ka na. Since hindi pa optimal to, may entering variable ka. And maximization, you choose the most negative. So therefore, this becomes your entering variable. Okay? Leaving variable do not get the ratio anymore. Pag nag-augment ka, you force the redundant constraint to be your leaving variable. Forced ito. This is a forced LV equal to S3. So therefore, no more ratios. Okay, for this first iteration. It's a forced LV, and this one is your EV, no? Most negative. Entering variable is X2. And then, of course, this is your pivot element. Since it's already 1, all you have to do is to convert all of this to 0. So parang nag-iterate ka na ulit. So when you iterate, ito yung magre-result. So you will see here, ito yung 1, ito yung pivot element. Kinonvert itong tatlo to 0. Okay? By using Gauss-Jordan. And then this will be the resulting table. Okay? This will be the resulting table. So, hindi na natin i-iterate, no? So, basta pag nag-iterate kayo, ito yung lalabas. So, you will see now, if you check, this is positive, this is positive. Okay? But this one is negative. 4 minus m is negative. Therefore, the solution column is not feasible kasi may negative. Eh. Pero, if you look at the objective function coefficients of the 0, the two non-basic variables here, okay, which is X1 and S3. Positive na yung coefficient. So therefore, optimal here, infeasible here. So the combination of optimal and infeasible will now produce super optimal. So therefore, this is a super optimal tableau already. Pwede na ngayon gamitin yung dual simplex algorithm. Okay? So yung augmented dual simplex is just adding a redundant constraint, transforming it into a super optimal tableau, like what you see here. So now, once it's super optimal, obviously this one becomes your leaving variable kasi ito na lang naman yung negative. Eh. These two are positive. Okay, these two are positive. So therefore, leaving variable is S1. And then all you have to do is get the ratio between this row, okay, between this and this, and this. Since this is division by 0, this is not qualified. No, 1 over 0 does not qualify. 2 over negative 1 is negative 2. But you have to get, for maximization kasi, you have to get the smallest absolute value. So you have to get the absolute value. And since nag-iisa lang naman yan, ito na yung entering variable natin. Entering is S3, leaving is S1. So if you go to the next slide, entering is S3, di ba? Yung, ano ba yun? Itong S1, mapapalitan ng S3. So this is your entering variable. S3 will replace S1. Kaya S3 na to. Then S2, X2. And then pag nag-iterate kayo, you will see that this next iteration is already optimal. Wala ka ng positive, oh. Wala ka ng negative. Positive na to, positive, positive, optimal, optimal. Okay? So therefore, this is already an optimal iteration. Okay, that ends my lecture for duality theory until augmented dual simplex. Of course, it's one thing to listen to the lecture. It's one thing to practice and fully understand what you heard